Good day, everybody. Yeah, no notification on the Discord. There was no notification for my flight last night either. I'm not sure what's going on with that. The last notification was on Wednesday for Route 66. But anyway, we are here in Toronto. Hi, Kevin. Kevin's in the... Well, I'm seeing him as Qatar. We're here in the cargo planes to do the first of a series of cargo flights. I had some time this morning on this Sunday morning. So I figured we'd do a test run before we take these things to VATSIM and fly the actual scheduled routes for Fly UK cargo. And we're going to fly from here down to Atlanta. We are in multiplayer, so it'll be a little bit more relaxed. And we'll see how we go. So we're up at the FedEx ramp here. Let me just a little bit other view there. FedEx ramp here in the north of Toronto. There's Kevin over there in his Qatar. And we're going to be flying from here, like I said, down to Atlanta, Georgia. So let's get on board and we can start getting everything set up. Alright, so we are on board. Where's the buttons? There we go. On board the aircraft. First thing we're going to do is battery is going to come online. Then we're going to turn on the external power. And the standby power switch is going to auto. Going to come down here, make sure our hydraulic demand pumps are in auto. Parking brake is confirmed. Set landing gear lever is down. Flap positions are up and it is confirmed. On the board, fuel control switches are all in cutoff. Anti-ice is, I gotta remember where everything is on this airplane. Anti-ice is all off, and window anti-ice is off as well. Oxygen is good. The emergency exit lights. This is one I could never find. Kevin, do you know where the emergency exit lights are? I'll let you let me know. And the altimeter. So let's grab the weather. Come back down here. Weather here in Toronto. Throw it into the chat. It is currently winds 220 at 7. We're going to be using runway 23. 15 miles visibility, scattered clouds at 9,500, broken at 12,000, broken at 26,000. Temperature is 21 degrees. Altimeter is 29095. So we'll set that 29095. And we are good for the rest of it. So we're going to pop up top one more time and we'll start the adheres aligning. So left, right, and center are all into nav mode and they are all aligning. Yeah, have a bit of a look around. I tried and I just didn't see it. So I'm a little unsure. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere. Anyway, let's go down to the FMS. Let's see if I can remember which buttons we have. Here we go. So we're going to go into the FMC. We're going to check our information. 747-800 is correct. The air rack is current to October 5th. That is correct. The engine model type is good. All our data is good. We'll go to our position initialization. And we're going to use the GPS, so we'll grab it off of the first GPS. And it won't let us do that. Again, just relearning all this. We'll use the one from there then. There we go. GPS is set. And we are good. So we can go to our route now. So we're going to request our route. from SimBrief. The link is ready, so we'll load it in. And we will execute. So CYYZ to KATL, that's Atlanta. We're going to put in our flight number. There's it's in there, UKV 5556. Execute. So we can check our route. We're going to be departing off of runway 23, which is the northern east-west runway. And we're going to be using the BETS 3 departure. And we will be transitioning at Foxy. I'll execute that. We can go back to our index. We'll go to our arrival. Now we'll get our winds out in Atlanta. The winds are currently 070 at 7, so we're going to be landing on runway 08 left. We're going to the North Cargo Field when we get there, so 08 left will be on the north side. And we're going to be going in on the Andre 1 arrival. And we will transition to the arrival at Lari. And we'll execute that. So we can go over to our route. So all that information is there. Now if we go to our legs, we'll see we're going to take off. We'll be heading out on heading mode. And then we're going to fly to the Monroe VOR, Oakville. And we'll be on to BETS, Samuel, and then Foxy. At this point, we are leaving the departure, so we're going to move that. Let me clear that again. We're going to move that up there. We're then going to Clinton, then the HQV VOR, then to Hillary, and then from Hillary we're going to fly to Andre, which is the beginning of the arrival. So we'll get rid of that discontinuity. Then Smelly, then Gas, Cloud, I don't know where this is coming from, Kung Fu, Trape, Snev, and then we'll be making the turn around to Lari, so we'll grab that and we will replace the vectors. That gives us our full approach, and 5,000 feet at Lari is correct for the ILS intercept. And you see we go down to 4,000 feet at Bazaar, then 2,900 at Shell, where we should intercept the localizer. So that is all set up, and our route seems to be good to go. It's above the fire handles. Oh, hang on. Is it upper panel? It's above the fire handles. Here's the fire handles. Ah, there's extra to the left of the audio system switch. This one. Well, it doesn't do anything. Oh, so it's inoperable. That's why it wasn't on. It's on the checklist, but I can never find it to do anything with it. That's all good. So we're going to load in our fuel and cargo now. The only way you can really do this in this flight, unless it's changed, is through here. I'm going to pull up my flight plan. So fuel for today's flight, we are going to be carrying 31,000 pounds. It is in pounds. 31,000 pounds of fuel. Let me just check to make sure I got this right. We're in Canada, so I want to be using kilograms. Yeah, kilograms. It's 31,000 kilograms of fuel. So it's not a lot of fuel. It is a short flight for this type of airplane. So 31,247 is our minimum fuel. Just checking our fuel. So 32,480 is good. Our payload today is 70,500. So 72,000, and our takeoff weight is 324,791. All right. So that is our fuel and everything set up. So no fuel in the center tanks and no fuel in the stabilizer tank. Now I do have my little cheat sheet on fuel procedures, which I will probably have to access later on as we go through and we have to balance the tanks here. We'll see where we end up. So fuel and cargo is now all loaded on board. We are aligned and the FMSs are almost all done. We come down now to here again. So we're going to go back to our initial reference. We're going to go to our performance page now. So cruise altitude for today's flight is flight level 380. Our reserves on the flight are 4.6 tons. And our cost index for this aircraft is 90. So that is all set in. We'll go to our thrust limits. We'll be doing a standard takeoff, standard climb. All that's entered in. It's going to be a flaps 15 takeoff. No, it will not be a flaps 15 takeoff. It will be a flaps 10 takeoff. Center of gravity of 15.6%. That's good. And our V speeds of 129, 143, and 163 for our V2. And that's all now entered in here. So that means our climb out speed is going to be 183. That's V2 plus 20. Runway heading. And for our departure is, I think it's 237, it is. So we will set that. And an initial climb of 10,000 feet. Alright, so we are all good with everything there. So everything's good, our brakes are good, doors are all closed. A few pages are inoperable, there's our electrics. And we are good, so we will do our before start checklist. Back up top, oops, it's this one. So our hydraulic pumps are all on. Fuel load is good, fuel pumps coming on. And we don't need center, we don't need stabilizers since those are empty. Let's start the APU now. So on and start. We'll get the nav lights are now on. The beacon is on. Kevin's already pushing back. Need the APU coming up. And which way are you gonna? You're gonna taxi behind me, I take it. So I'll wait for you. All right. So the APU is up and running. There's the generators. APU bleeds are on. And switched over to APU generator. So we're now running off the APU. External power is now disconnected. And I think we are ready to go. There goes Kevin. So we're going to come back here. Seatbelt signs on. And we can bring in the tug. Now we don't have... we do have a tug here. So we'll get the tug out.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We will be ready shortly.
Roger.
Alright, so the tug is moving, so let's get ourselves set up for our push. We're not going to be going back far. As you can see, that's a bit far. And let's take that down to 60. 63. That's good. And swing that around the other way. All right. So we are clear. Let's make sure.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Parking
Pushing
brakes
back.
are released. And there goes the push. So fuel pumps are on, beacons are on.
You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
All right, we're starting engines 3 and 4. Come on. 3 and 4. You can start 2 at once on this aircraft. So we're watching for 20 on the rotation for the N1. There's 2 and 2, so we'll go fuel and fuel.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Brakes are set.
Parking brakes set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
The engines are spooling up. And 3 is stabilizing and 4 is stabilizing. We go to the overheads. The start switches have gone back in, so we're going to start 1 and 2. As soon as we hit 20 or 2.0, we'll come up with the fuel. Fuel on for both. You can See, we're drawing out of the main tanks now. Not the wings, but the main inboards. And once that reaches down to the same level as the main outboards, we make some changes to the fuel feed system, but we might not have to do that. Depends how our reserves are when we get down to Atlanta. Start switches have disengaged. Alright, we're good on the engines. So back up overhead. We're going to turn on the engine bleeds. And packs are both on. Our recall is good. Reference speeds are checked. Flaps 210. Selected. Flaps are moving. Trim we will dial into the middle. So we're ready to go. Flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left rudder, full right rudder, neutral, auto brakes set to RTO, back to the fuel system, and we'll do the window heat. And window heat, it's just the one click, is on for both. So we're ready for taxi. Turn on the taxi lights. And we are good to go. So as I mentioned, we're heading down to runway 23 from the cargo ramp here. Brakes are released. And we're good to go. So Kevin's on his way. A little bit of a taxi here. We got to run down the top of the runway here. And a few aircraft here. This is Fly Tampa's Toronto. Few hesitations here. Definitely think October is going to be upgrade month for me. Anyway, we're going to carry along Juliet here. And we're going to be passing the ends of runway 15 right and then runway 15 left. But we've been given the okay to pass through, so It's all good. Don't get too many aircraft running up here except for the cargo stuff. And over here at this little FBO here, the occasional thing in here. Some corporate stuff. There's 1 of 5 left coming up. Got some rain in the area of Toronto today. Stutters are annoying. Should go away once we get in the air and the airport unloads. Alright, so parking brake can go on. We'll do our final checks. Vital data is confirmed. Packs are on. Cabin crew, there is none. Flight directors are on both sides. Auto throttles are armed. Landing lights can come on. Turn off lights come on. Taxi light off. Strobes are on. Alright, let's move out. Another aircraft coming up. Requires a bit of effort to get this thing moving. Hi, Dark. How are you doing? I don't know why you're saying evening. Even for you, it's only afternoon. For me, it's a nice early morning. So wait for the Sunwing here. He's gonna wait for us. Out and lined up. There we go. So back inside, we are ready to go. So brakes are set, engines spooling up to 40%. Oh, you're at work? Well, thanks for dropping by. All right, brakes released. Engines to take off power. Airspeed's alive. knots. It's V1. And rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Alright. So we're going to go heading hold, VNav, command mode is engaged. climbing out. Turn off lights will go off. Now, we can come down here, we'll go to our legs, and we are going direct Monroe and execute. LNAV is on. There's our turn. We're climbing out. Flaps can come up. Heading to 250 knots. There we go. And there's Kevin ahead of us as we head out towards Overfly Hamilton, Ontario. So after takeoff, landing gear is up, flaps are up, packs are on. Exterior lights are tuned down. We're cleared all the way up to our cruise level today. Alright, Kevin, we'll see you in a bit. And again, cruise level is flight level 380. So we'll get that dialed in. Flight level 380. Is set. Monroe's on the coast of Lake Ontario, and then we go over Oakville, which is just outside Hamilton. But it's all looking very good. There's 10,000 feet coming up. Through 10,000, so the lights can come off, and we'll just go over and check our lights here. So our beacons are on, our nav lights are on, our strobe lights are on, and everything else is currently off. All right, so we're climbing up to our cruise. So we're cleared through, so we'll change our altimeter over to standard. That's fine, and our APU can now come off. There we go. There's our turn towards Oakville. That's Lake Erie. There's Burlington over here, or down here, Hamilton Airport. Mount Hope Airport is located over here, and that's where the Lancaster is based out of, the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum. So we're almost up to our cruise speed. Our climb is increasing. Everything is looking good. We got wing view set up, but again, it's a cargo plane, so can't use them. There's the bird. They've done a good job recreating the look of the cargo plane. A few external views, so it should look nice. We'll just continue our climb out. So bringing up the chart, you can see we took off on the northern runway up here. We then headed down towards Murnau. We're now just past Oakville. We're heading down here to Betts. We'll then be going to Samuel and then down to Foxy. And our route, as mentioned, is going to take us down over Lake Erie. Then our cruise portion down this way over Ohio and Pennsylvania. And then we pick up the arrival here, which is this one. So we're going to come into Andre, and then as we saw the waypoints, Smelly Gas Cloud, Kung Fu Trap Snev, and then we're going to arc around and come in for Larry, then Yeah, Bazaar, Shell, and then down to the runway. So that is the flight. It's about 2 hours. Block to 210 block to block, 136 airtime. We'll see how that goes. What I'll probably do is put on a little bit of music once we're up higher into the cruise. This is multiplayer, so we don't have to worry about ATC on VATSIM or anything like that. Just getting back into the swing of flying the 747. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the map. There we go. Shrink that down. To that scale there. There we go. So our next scheduled flight is tomorrow night at 19:30 Zulu. We will be beginning our world tour in the A320. As you can see, we're flying from Newcastle down to Innsbruck. Should be interesting. It's a VATSIM flight. And we'll see how it goes. Nerdbark, hi over on Twitch. Yeah, this is the default 737 with the Salty mod and a custom livery for my virtual airline, which gives us the cargo, a good cargo version. But it is the Salty, so it's not perfect. There is some stuff missing, but it's a lot better than the default version. So when I'm available, now that the museum I volunteer at, we're into winter hours, we're not open on weekends, so that may be opening up some time on certain weekends, so I'll be able to do some Saturday flights, and because I can start earlier on Saturdays, and people are generally not working, it allows for longer flights. So I figured we do some cargo flights in the 747. So I've done a couple offline flights, and we're doing this multiplayer today with Kevin, who's up in front of us. And it's to allow us to get a handle on flying the big 747 once again. And as mentioned, today we're heading from Toronto down to Atlanta on a cargo run. So we're through 26,000 feet. Let's see if Roger can dial in some tunes for us. Let's see what I can find. We're over Lake Erie now. And that's the town of Erie ahead. You can see the harbor there. Weather's looking good over the eastern part of the U.S., so we should have a good flight with not too much weather to worry about. There's just some scattered clouds in Atlanta, so it is looking good down there. So I'm going to go off mic. We'll brief the arrival when we get a little bit closer. But we'll leave the music going and hope you enjoy the flight.
legendary comedian, podcaster, and Uber One member Sarah Silverman here. You know, when people call me for advice, I always tell them, join Uber One. It gives you 5% off rides, 5% off restaurants, and a $0 delivery fee. I don't really tell them that, but what am I gonna do? It's a commercial. I actually say, wear sunscreen, drink water, eat a plum, and floss. So take my advice, join Uber One. Or don't, I don't care, I'm not your mommy.
Order minimums apply. Percentage off discounts only available for participating restaurants and non-scheduled rides. See uber.com/Uber1 for details.
Hey Canada! Smile Cookie Week is almost here at Tim's. When you buy a Smile Cookie, 100% of the proceeds go to a local charity or community group. This September 19th to 25th, every Smile Cookie makes a difference. At participating restaurants in Canada for a limited time.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. And it sounds like a wind farm powering homes across the country. We're bridging to a sustainable energy future, working today to ensure tomorrow is on. Enbridge, life takes energy.
Casper, we treat sleep like the most important thing in the world, because it is. Our team researched how much heat is released during the night, so we designed our mattresses to be the perfect balance of comfortable and breezy, helping you drift off with ease and stay asleep all through the night. Awaken the potential of your well-rested self at Casper.ca and discover all the comforts of a Casper mattress at Sleep Country stores across Canada.
Uber One member Tracy Morgan here. Yesterday I was on the streets and a guy said, "Hi Tracy Morgan, why'd you join Uber One?" So I said, "Hello stranger, because Uber One gives me 5% of rides, 5% of my snacks, and $0 delivery fee." He said, "That's a lot of good stuff." So I said, "I concur. Let's be best friends. Be my best friend too. Join Uber One."
Order minimums apply. Percentage off discounts only available for participating restaurants and non-scheduled rides. See uber.com/Uber1 for details.
Celebrate the new David Bowie film, Moon Age Daydream, with top tracks from the brand new soundtrack, featuring Modern Love, Space Oddity, and Life on Mars. Listen now on Spotify.
Uber One member Sarah Silverman here. When people call me for advice, I always say join Uber One for 5% off restaurants and a $0 delivery fee. I also suggest flossing. Join Uber One.
Order minimums apply. Percentage off discounts only available for participating restaurants. See uber.com/uber1 for details.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. And it sounds like a wind farm powering homes across the country. We're bridging to a sustainable energy future, working today to ensure tomorrow is on. Enbridge, life takes energy.
Celebrate the new David Bowie film, Moon Age Daydream, with top tracks from the brand new soundtrack, featuring Modern Love, Space Oddity, and Life on Mars. Listen now on Spotify.
Alright, well, top of descent is starting to come up, so we can start looking at what we're going to be doing for our arrival. So we'll grab the current weather, throw it in the chat. Kevin, yeah, Work Big River, a shorter scale of time than takes water to do the same sort of thing like you have in the Grand Canyon, but basically as the glaciers retreated, it just ground away all the soft ground and left the rockier stuff, which formed the ridges that you see. You can see it all over North America because of the hard rock that we have. It's really quite impressive when you get up high, being able to see all that. So, weather's in the chat. You can see we are wind 050 at 6 knots, a few clouds in the area, and 3018 for the altimeter. So we will be able to set that here, 3018. There we go, it's set in the standby. So there's our data. So our arrival procedures are laid in. We've gone through and double checked them. All the restrictions are in place. And once again, for the briefing, see where we are now as we're coming in. And we're coming in for the Andre. We're currently down around here. And once we hit Andre, we'll be at 13,000 feet and down to 250 knots. We then go on Smelly, Gas, Cloud, Kung Fu, Tape, and then Snev. We'll be looping around, picking up Larry. And as you can see, we come down and start down into the runway from there. Once landing, and we're landing on runway 08 left, we're going to be coming down here, probably getting off around Alpha 6, and then we're going to taxi into the north cargo ramp over here at the cargo building. So that is the plan. For our landing. So recall, everything is good. Altimeter's at transition level has been preset. And we can come down here and work out our VREF. That's the one we want. And I'm going to get rid of the chart now. We don't need it, but we're going to come over here to our approach page and we'll enter in our reference material. Hi Talia, how's everything going? I guess you got another 3 weeks to go, 2 weeks to go. We're going to be landing flaps 30 since we were pretty well loaded. That's going to give us a V-speed of 153. We're going to come in at 158, so V plus 5 just to make up, to keep the control going. So our reference speed is now in. Minimums. We're going to be doing a Cat 1 today, so that's going to set us up at a minimum of 1215, and our airport elevation is 1015, so that's 200 feet above the ground, which is fine. So we'll come over to minimums. It's going to be a barrow setting, and we're going to go for 1215. Now we're not going to be able to do 15, so we'll go 1220. Always adjust higher. There we go. Passenger signs are still on, they've never come off. Auto brakes, we're going to auto brake 2 for this landing. So auto brake 2 is set. So top of descent is coming up. We've got the route plugged in all the way down, so we're going to set the initial down to 5,000 feet. 1 week to go. Oh, you're further along than I remembered. So 5,000 feet is set for the descent. Well, I hope you're doing well with the course. So because we've dialed in the lower altitude, you can see VNAV path has now come up online. So it should start the descent on its own when we reach the top of the descent point. We are also going to tune in runway heading, which is 095. We'll dial that around. We're actually faster doing it ourselves than holding the button down. Just in case we need the heading, if we have a missed approach or something. 095. So missed approach is climb to 1,500 feet and on left turn to 3,500 on a heading of 360. Inbound to the Troyes intersection and hold, but that's fine. We'll do self-vectoring around if we need to. Looks like Kevin is starting down. So the heading is set. We can come down to our radios. In specific, we'll go to our rad nav. So the VOR frequency is 109.3. Put that on both sides, and course is 95 degrees. There we go. There is no ADF handy. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Atlanta VOR in over on that side on VOR 2. We're already picking that up. We're 131 miles out. Is all up. You can't do separate ones. They are linked screens at the moment. So it's going to be quite the descent. We're at 38,000 feet. Uh, 30.9 is our current gross, and our 310.9, so we're not bad. We're ballpark. We're under our max landing weight anyway, so that is all good. down to our legs. Top of descent coming up. There we go. Vertical path markers coming in, and down we go, intercepting our vertical path. Engine's throttling back. So the fuel is almost balanced. We should get the warning coming up in a second, and then we will switch over the fuel pumps and cross feed so that each engine is feeding off its own tank as we get ready to come into our destination.
This break is brought to you by Matcha Insurance. In life, it's often others who come before us. Like you who enjoy
Alright, so
well-protected
where are we?
critical illness or
Looks like
disability.
we're
Be a priority for yourself. For your
we're in
personal
Georgia.
insurance needs, consider Matcha Insurance. Compare your premium and save now.
I think we just passed over Tennessee.
For more details.
Retirement is one of life's greatest milestones.
And we're in Georgia, just coming up to Georgia.
Experiences that fuel the mind, body, and
But
soul.
everything is
As
looking
Cigna
very good.
Retirement Communities, we offer carefree retirement living with the highest quality wellness services, dining engagements, and social activities. Choose a vibrant retirement community that meets all of your needs. Experience the difference with Cigna.
One thing I like about this airplane, even when it is loaded, it climbs at a pretty good rate, as we saw coming out of Toronto, and right now we're descending at 2,800. So she gets up and down fairly quickly. And I gotta say, just get that up. I do like the livery. The guy did a really good job in managing to create the cargo look for it as well, so that it's in the correct look, and it's just not a passenger version with the cargo stuff painted on it. It's actually got the proper shape and the big cargo doors. Too bad they don't open. Someday. So we're 55 miles out from Andre. Andre, we got to be at 13,000 feet. So we're descending down. You can see by the banana, we should be there just before Andre. Speed is creeping up. We're still under... We're switching back and forth now between speed and Mach. As the air thickens up, we should slow down a little bit. So it's all good at the moment. And now we're pretty much just monitoring as we head down. Tomorrow night we start our world tour in the A320s. We'll be flying from, well, tomorrow night, 1930 Zulu, it's my afternoon. We'll be flying from Newcastle down to Innsbruck on leg 1. To be at 250 knots as well. Landing west. No, we're not landing west, so we're landing east. So that speed restriction doesn't apply. 250 at 10,000, of course, does. Sending at about 2,600 feet per minute. And there's 25,000 feet. Airport is just slightly right of dead ahead. About to fly over Cleveland, Georgia. Everything is looking good. Coming up for 20,000 feet. Turn off the radio. So we're through 20,000 feet. Everything is looking good. Some clouds to the east and a little bit of mist, or it would be smog. Some mist or haze down there in the valleys. See our descent rate starting to pull up slightly. So we begin to slow down ever so gently. So there's 18,000 feet. We're going to switch over to our proper barrel setting. A little bit of a dive to get back on the flight path. Coming up on Lake Sydney Lanier, or Lanier, it's down here, and Gainesville, Georgia, down over here. Looks like we have a Cessna 172 down at the airport. 10 miles to go, 3,000 feet to lose. I'm going to start putting out some a little bit of braking action here, start getting our speed to slow down. have to monitor that with speed brakes. And no, the EFBs don't work. Wish they did. So we'll see what kind of descent profile it puts us on once we pass over. There's smelly. That should flatten us out a little bit. Speed brakes are off because we don't have to be down to 5,000 until way around the corner here. All right, we're heading to Smelly. Here's the airport. Dead ahead, it's about 40 miles. So minima is set. Auto brakes are set. We're just waiting to cross 10,000 for the landing lights. Speed brakes, or auto brakes, we've already set to 2. The landing runway is 9,000 feet. Shouldn't be muted. Auto brakes are set. No, I'm coming across, Kevin. Check your, I just checked my stream. Check your, you might have the stream muted. I checked my feed on the stream and it's fine. Well, a little bit of haze down here in the valley, where Atlanta is. Not sure it was reported in the METAR, but the METAR seemed to be an automated one. No visibility issues. It says 10 miles, and that seems to be when there's a slight edge. There's our fuel tank and engine warning coming up, and if we look, our fuel tanks are balanced. So we'll go up overhead. We're going to shut off the overloader and cross feeds. Nope, your end. Yeah, I thought so. Hey, Wayne. How are you doing today, sir? So you can see all 4 engines are now drawing out of their own fuel tanks for our final arrival, approach, and landing. So Wayne, Eastbird's asked for a Spitfire flight, so between, not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, between the Route 66 series, which ends this Wednesday, and our Scotland series, we're going to do a Spitfire flight. We're going back to Wales. So we'll be at RAF Valley. We'll do some flying through the Welsh valleys again. So it should be a fun one. It's been a while since I've been in the Spit. So we've got a A320 landing there at Atlanta. Alright, we'll zoom in again down to 20 miles. Speed should be coming back. We're approaching 10,000. I'll give it a little bit of a help with some speed brake. Going back to 250 knots. There's the A320 taking off. So we're through 10,000 feet. landing lights will go on, turn off, taxi lights are on. We're good? Yeah, I will, Wayne. Alright, speed's down to 250 knots. We're below 10,000 feet. Still descending to 5,000. We're 15 miles out from the airport now. Or at least the Atlanta VOR. It's funny it's not giving me a needle. Oh, I didn't turn my transponder on. Naughty me. Alright, we're now entering the downwind. At 240 knots. And there is Kevin in front of us. See the city of Atlanta. Let's come over to Roger's side. There we go, downtown Atlanta. There's the dome. I guess that's where the Falcons play. It's American football for use over the pond. Very nice. Of course, there's the airport right there. So our intercept altitude, as mentioned, is 2,900 feet. So everything is good, so we're going to set that in now. $2,900 feet. This should slip us in under the glide slope, so intercept should not be an issue. And we've got good spacing between Kevin and myself for the landing. Oh yeah, big city like Atlanta, downtown, would be fantastically expensive. I haven't been to Atlanta. I've been through Georgia when I rode the bike down in this area a number of years ago. 12, 13 years ago. I was in other parts of Georgia, but didn't hit Atlanta itself. Kind of like staying away from the bigger cities, just mainly because of the traffic and everything. Unless I'm actually flying in to do something. Anyway, we're picking up the ILS now. You can see it on the left, 109.3. So we're receiving the signal. And it is DME, which is very nice. Kevin's making his base. As you can see, scenery is very nice down there. It's nice and green. No color changes down here yet. We're Starting to see the leaves turning here. As we slowly descend down. Fortunately, the inside model is still a passenger version. But at least the outside looks accurate. Not too worried about flaps yet since we're not leveling off. Kevin's over there. Well past the airport. All right, we're 5 miles to the turn point. Kevin's heading on his way in on the other side. Very nice. So we got a 5,000 foot restriction at Larry. And then 5,000 foot at JAAJJ, and then it's 4,000 at Bazaar, and then 2,900 at Shell, which is the intercept point. Yeah, I know, getting out, and I remember the first time I ate in a restaurant after COVID, it was just like, you know, no great place, but man, it was just nice to get out and do that. So we're turning onto our base. Still descending down to 5,000 feet. Kevin's inbound. Here's our turn, so we're going to go flaps 1. And flaps 5. We are 21 miles out. Looking very nice. The haze off in the distance. We are in live time here, so it's not even noon down here. In fact, I think it's probably an hour behind, so it's like 10 o'clock here in Atlanta. Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that haze layer there now. So we are reading the localizer, but we have no indication. Yeah. I'm at the point now where I find all that stuff very annoying. And for some reason over here we're still doing it in places, and there's no reason for it. I mean, the government's own witnesses at a parliamentary commission said they had no reason to do it, but we're going to do it anyway. What a pain it is. Alright, so we are now 15 miles out, so I am going into speed mode. Gonna bring our speed down to 200. So we're currently at flaps 5, going flaps 10, speed checked. Speed checked. We're heading inbound, so we are going to arm approach mode. Localizer and glide slope are armed. I'm not reading either of them yet. No indicators. Atlanta's Eastern? Okay, it's 11 o'clock there in Atlanta. There's the airport. Looks like Kevin is almost down. 1,000 to go. It's 10 miles. I'm not even reading a glide slope or localizer. Eight miles, let's get our speed down. So 153 plus 5 is 158. Next flaps, gear down. We should be intercepting. There's the outer marker. I've got nothing. All right, going visual. Speed coming back, and we'll go next flaps. 25. Flaps 30. This is interesting. I don't know why it didn't pick up. Let's hope we're high. Gotta get that nose down. $9,000 to go. Kevin's now exiting the runway. I can see him down there. All right, one red. 2 red. 100. Auto throttles are off. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Said auto throttles off. Oh, this is interesting. Didn't take my auto throttles off. Alright, we're going around. Wow. Gear up. Starting to flaps up. Yeah, spoiled by PMPG in Phoenix. Flaps to 5. So we'll go 3,000 feet. Command. Hold. VNav. The auto throttle 240. Let's get the heading around. Try that again. That was frustrating. Hi Craig, yeah, let's go around there. For some reason, the localizer glide slope didn't arm. And I pushed the auto throttle disconnect button and the auto throttles didn't disconnect. I mean, they do on the PMDG. So we'll go around and do it again. We won't have to go all the way back out. We'll just get out to where I can do the intercept again. That's it. Blame Craig. His phone was in. He was trying to sneak an early call in, and there you go. It's interesting, it's got the missed approach up now, but we'll do it on vectors. Alright, let's head 270. I could have got it down if the throttles had cut when they were supposed to. Alright, that's 3,500, so we'll go up to 3,500. There's somebody doing a sightseeing flight over Atlanta.
2,500.
And kind of so are we. Get a better view of it now. Oops. I'm behind the seat. There it is. Ugh. Doesn't look as good from down low. Look much better up high. Let's go 2.8. We want to keep turning distance. There's the airport. We've got the center line marked here, so what we'll do is we'll pick up the center line. And fly that in. I mean, if ATC was on, we might have gotten a go-around anyway, because I think Kevin was late getting off the runway, because he had issues. Let's see if we can get this thing down.
2500.
Ended up way too high. I was doing the visual and I didn't have it that bad. It's just the engine stayed in mode. Alright. So we're going to stay at 3,400. We're going to turn now to about 250. Speed will come down to 220. All right. And flaps will go to 20 degrees. We're away from the built-up area. Head down to 290.
2500.
It's an interesting way to do a flight level change. Okay. And we will left turn around to 095, or at least whatever gets us close to getting back on that center line. Stop hesitating. There's the airport over there. Still not picking up the ILS or the localizer. I'm not getting the indicators. Interesting. Alright, we're inbound. So speed coming down to 180 or 185. Flaps 25. Have the airport in sight. Fuel is good. Let's get the auto brakes set to 2 again. Speed brakes are armed. Airport's in sight. Speed's down to 158. Autopilot disconnect. Flaps 30. Let's try this again. Nope. Thank you. All right. Gears down, flaps are down, auto brake set, lights are on. Everything's good. We've got 3 reds, we're a little low. Just holding it up. Minimal descent speed. Point, I'd rather drag it slightly over the trees. There we go. 2 whites, 2 reds. This time I will disarm the auto throttle by switch. Winds are slightly out of the left. Up. We're good.
300. 200.
Auto throttles are off.
Minimums.
Landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Nice and firm. That's better. Alright, reversers are on, reversers off. Auto brakes are off. And as I said, we're getting off at Alpha 6. A little bit too firm, but that's okay. Kevin's still sitting there in his cargo Lux. He was a Qatar when we left Toronto. All right, we'll get off here at Alpha 6. Head over to the North Cargo Wraps. No passengers to complain. Yeah. Unfortunately, I was carrying 60,000 kilograms of fine crystal wine glasses, so. Oops. Alright, flaps up. Speed brakes disarmed. Lights are off. And that's on, and strobes are off. Oh, these are big airplanes. All right, so we've learned a couple things. Sometimes the ILS, imagine doing this in bad weather. You get no ILS. Ugh. I mean, we're live weather today. Good thing the weather was decent. Welcome to Atlanta. Delta Airlines over there. This is the Microsoft's handcrafted airport from when they did the redo. Alright, so parking brake is on. Come up top. Oop. So hydraulic pumps go off. Parking brake is set. Fuel control switches go off. Turn off the rest of the pumps. External power is now connected. Turn off the window heat. And engine bleeds will go off. Alright, well, welcome to Atlanta on the cargo side. Interesting flight. Kevin, thank you very much for flying along. Over the coming months, we'll see a bunch more of these cargo flights pop up. Probably going to be on VATSIM. And we'll see how it goes. And hopefully we get the ILS working. But other than that, thanks very much for joining us. Our next flight is tomorrow when we start our world tour in the Phoenix A320. Have a great one. Thanks for coming by. Talk to you later.